Let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a difficult conversation in the past that didn't go super well and it negatively affected your life and your business or your business? Let me ask you a much more important question. Do you maybe have a conversation like this coming up with your spouse, a client, maybe even your children? Well, today I'm going to share with you a simple 3-part framework that's going to highly likely increase your chances of a positive outcome. I'm Steve Fantasia. I'm the only lender that cares about growing your business just as much as you do. And with that said, let's get to work. Now, before we get into this simple framework, let me hit you with a 20-second history lesson. Back in the 1920s, the famous American psychologist Carl Rogers theorized that we need 3 things in order to grow. Now, you know growth is synonymous with happiness, so I'm going to take the liberty of using the word happiness here. He said we need to be accepted for who we are, right? We all know that. We need genuineness, meaning we need people to be honest with us. But much more importantly than those 2 things, and a word you're going to hear me say a lot on this channel, is we need to be empathized with, and we need to provide empathy to the people around us. Now, what does empathy mean? Empathy just simply means understanding. It's saying, I understand you in such a way that they believe that you actually do understand them. And that's the entire basis for this framework. It's the foundation. Everything is based upon that. So with that said, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Step 1, you lay out the ground rules. Very simple here. I would recommend letting the other person go first for 2 reasons. A, it lets them be heard. Sometimes that's enough to resolve everything right there, and you don't even need to get into the rest of it. And that's a beautiful thing when that happens. But B, it allows you to model the conversation to them and model the structure to them in a way that is understandable, and they can reiterate it back. And it really just sets the tone for a much more positive outcome. So let them go first. Here's step 2. Let them air it out. Resist the urge to cut them off. I don't care if you know what they're going to say. And especially if you disagree, you have to let them be heard. They have to say it all. Let them get it all off their chest. Let them really air it out. Now, hopefully you've listened well, because here comes step 3. And this is the most important step. If you skip this one, you're throwing the whole framework in the trash. So once you've listened carefully and you've heard them and they've said everything that they're going to say, you simply reiterate back to them in such a way that they accept and understand that you get them, that they've been heard, and you understand where they're coming from. It doesn't matter how many times you have to say it. You just keep on repeating it back until they say, yes, you get me. And again, sometimes that's enough to bring resolution right there. In most cases it is. But if it's not, that's okay. You just simply trade roles. And since you've already modeled the structure for them, it should be easy for them to do it back to you. So then you just air it out, you get it off your chest, and then it's their responsibility to reiterate back to you what you said in such a way that you accept it. Now, if you go back and forth enough times, you're likely to work out your situation. Now, it's not a silver bullet. It's not going to fix every single situation, but I encourage you to think back to my opening question. I encourage you to think back to that disagreement you had, or that difficult situation you had. And I encourage you to think about, had you used this framework, could it have worked out a little bit better for you? I sincerely hope it would. I seriously encourage you to give this a shot. And if you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And last but not least, listen, I understand your time is valuable. I super appreciate you for spending it with me, and we'll catch you on the next one.